My guest is
Qonağım
ex-Prime
Azərbaycanın keçmiş
Minister
baş
of
naziri Panah
Azerbaijan
Huseyn.
Panah
Bugünkü
Huseyn.
mövzumuz
Today we
azadlıqdan
shall
kitabı
discuss
ilə
From
bağlıdır,
Freedom to
Turgut
Liberty
Ər.
book
Turgut Ər
written
dövrünü
by
siz
Turgut
yaxşı
Er.
bilirsiniz.
You remember his
Azərbaycanın
period very well.
Azərbaycandakı Türkiyə
He was
səfirliyinin
press
mətbuat
secretary at
müşaviri
Turkish
olubdur.
Embassy in
Yəqin ki,
Azerbaijan.
görüşləriniz
Why
olubdur.
this
Bu
book
kitab niyə
was
Azərbaycanda
so
belə tənqidlə
criticized in
qarşılandı?
Azerbaijan? Actually,
Ümumiyyətlə,
authoritarian regimes don't like criticism. This is the weakest
rejimlər
characteristics of authoritarian regime.
olanda
That's why it's
dözümsüz.
not surprising. But this book was
niyə belə
criticized
daha
more
çox
than
tənqidə
others.
məruz qaldı?
To my
Burada
mind,
iki,
it should be
mənim
divided
fikrimcə,
into two
dövrə
periods. The
ayırmaq
period
lazımdır.
before WikiLeaks
Bu
and
həm bu
after it.
WikiLeaks-ə çıxan
After
yazılara
showing
bədəlçi
Azerbaijan
olan
government's
şəxsən,
attitude towards
həm də
Turkey
bundan
in the
sonraki reaksiya
documents,
məncə,
they want to compensate it. It's done
son
intentionally.
dövrdə
Azerbaijan wants
Türkiyə,
to justify
Türkiyə
itself
və,
and accuse Turkey in
hökumətlə
some
qarşı
issues. And so
Azərbaycan
it was clear that
rəhbərliyinin,
this book would be criticized. You
Siz
were the
həmin
lead
dövrlərin
witness of that
canlı
period.
şahidlərisiz,
Are the
daha
facts
doğrusu
shown in that
digər
book
baş
are
nazirlər
real?
şahidi.
I should mention that I was aware of that book as I had its electronic version. I had met Turgut Er twice this year in Ankara before this book was published. The book was discussed before it had been published. And then I got its electronic version. It's an interesting book despite of facts and views expressed in it. To my mind, the main point of this book is that it was written by Turkish diplomats who had been working in Azerbaijan and it's being published in Turkey because some issues are not innovation for Azerbaijan readers. Author also mentioned that some facts were based on Azerbaijan media, for example, Müsavat, Azadlık newspaper. I think it was mainly considered for Turkish readers. On the other hand, facts which Turgut Er had faced were more interesting for me. 1993, 94, 95 years. I told Turgut Er that it would be more interesting to read official documents, but it's clear Turkish embassy has not declared them yet. Of course, it was interesting to read Turgut Er's views as a lead witness. Some facts are subjective in that book. For example, I don't believe Heydar Aliyev had been invited to Baku and elected Nahçıvan chairman by Turkish Special Service Body. But based on facts, I have a lot of information of it. I don't consider convincing that Heydar Aliyev had been invited to Baku and elected Nahçıvan chairman by Turkish Special Service Bodies. I don't want to discuss it. This is his version and maybe Turgut Er had believed it. But the other issues are very interesting, especially events that happened in the beginning of 1993, 94 and 95. I also participated in that events as a journalist, and the events follow one another in that book. The hours, days were coinciding. It seems this book was based on Turkish embassy report. Yeah, I agree with you. And I mentioned above that 1993-94 events are the most interesting. Can Turkish embassy reports be announced? Actually, Turkish Ministry of Foreign Affairs is the main governmental body continuing Osmanlı traditions. I don't hope for announcement of their reports. If tension against Turkey will rise, they may appear as documents related not only 1993-95 years, but also 2000 and 2003. Can it be considered that the publication of this book is political tension method used against Azerbaijan? This book can be discussed, but Turgut Er likes Azerbaijan. He values Azerbaijan-Turkey relations. From this point of view, this is not right. Nonetheless, I don't consider that all facts are correct in that book. But I'd like to mention he wanted to publish this book hastily because he was suffering serious illness. That's why it should not be considered political tension used against Azerbaijan. You were the Prime Minister and you were in the focus of the events. What can you say of facts shown in the book related to your period? There were facts extracted from newspapers regarding our period. Of course, Turgut Er didn't hide his sympathy to Abulfaz Elçibay and his team. But of course, there are implied points. What was implied? For example, there was written that İsa Gambar and I had been believing Heydar Aliyev's plans. This is a view, not fact. In any case, you resigned. If you did not believe you would not have resigned. Doesn't mean we believed, but we did it for changing something, for changing our direction. I have written of it widely, so if readers are interested in it, they can read what I have written about it. Thank you for coming to our studio. Today my guest was ex-Prime Minister of Azerbaijan Panah Huseyn.
Sağ olun.
Ben de teşekkür ederim, sağ olun.